Hey guys, welcome back to the Navigator Lapghan series. Today we are diving into the final step. We're gonna join all of the panels together. Oh man, all the panels you worked so hard on. If you are here, that means you have made all 4 sections. First of all, way to go. You're crushing the project. Now all we have to do is just put them all together so we can make the project shine. This collaboration with Bonnie Barker has been so special for me, and I really hope that you've been loving it just as much as I have. After you've joined the panels, make sure that you hop over to Bonnie's channel for the border tutorial. She seriously is the queen of beautiful finishing touches, and her border it's going to make the Lapghan absolutely stunning. So make sure you do that to finish off your project. All right, let's talk about today's stitch. So we are going to be working the crab stitch or reverse stitch to join these panels together. I love how much texture the stitch has, how the 3D effect, how pronounced it is, and I think it just makes a really beautiful pronounced line between each panel, joining them together. It's just really, really pretty, and it's really, really clean. I'm not gonna lie though, it is called the reverse single crochet stitch for a reason. We are going to be working backwards, which does feel a little weird at first. The first time that I tried this stitch, I was like, what the heck am I doing? But once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty cool and it's a lot of fun. So please give it a try. Think of it as the stitch gives you some bragging rights. Like, yeah, I can do that. I can crochet backwards. What? But just keep in mind, take it slow. Keep your stitches loose. It's very important. And don't stress about perfection. All you perfectionists out there, it's okay. You've got this. And really, you're gonna love how it turns out, I promise. For my newer crocheters out there, yes, you can absolutely do this too. It might feel a little awkward at first, but I promise you've got this. Just take your time, breathe, and remember, progress over perfection, okay? And if you're still really just not feeling the crab stitch, that's totally okay. You can swap the crab stitch / reverse single crochet stitch out for the twisted single crochet stitch. Not the twisted single crochet stitch we just did in the February temperature blanket crochet along project. I'm talking about the twisted single crochet stitch that's like a helicopter. The stitch looks essentially just like a crab stitch, except for you're moving forwards instead of backwards. So if you're just not feeling the single, or if you're not feeling the crab stitch, you can just switch it out for the twisted single crochet and you'll be fine. And don't forget, I love to see your progress and your finished projects, guys. So please, please tag me and tag Bonnie whenever you share your progress or your projects on social media. Use hashtag Navigator Lapghan so that way I can see your work and I can cheer you on. I can be your cheerleader. I love lifting you up. I love seeing your projects. I think it is so cool to see how your creativity and your talented work turns out. All right, once you're ready, let's go ahead and get started showing you how to do the crab stitch join for these panels. First thing you're going to want to do is lay the panels out the way that you think they look best. So the order I'm choosing is Bonnie's arrow panel, followed by my single crochet cross stitch panel, and then Bonnie's wavy panel, lastly my textured stitch panel. The second thing that you're going to want to do is count the number of stitches that are along each side of the panels that you plan on joining together. This is going to help us to figure out if we need to make any decrease stitches and on which side, which panel that we're going to need to make those decreases on. To count, looking at the bottom corner of the arrow panel, you will not count the turning stitch of the corner. Look for the very first stitch along this side of the panel. Start counting. I'm going to be placing stitch markers every so many stitches to help me stay on track with my counting. It's a huge bummer when you get off count and you have to start all over again. If this will help you, then by all means, please use those stitch markers. Whoop, 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 dog walking by. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You're cozy deep into your latest crochet project and then your neck starts to hurt. Your shoulders start to ache, or your lower back starts to feel extreme discomfort, and you find yourself doing this funny dance where you're doing whatever you possibly can to get comfortable because you don't want to stop crocheting. You are enjoying the process so much that you end up just pushing through the pain because you want to keep going. I've been there way too many times, but then I discovered the Volare pillow. It was a game changer for me. I think it's going to be incredible for you, and that is why the Volare pillow is today's video sponsor. The Volare pillow, it gives your arms something comfy, cozy to rest on, so that way you just kind of take all of this stress out of your neck, out of your shoulders, and you really melt into the pillow. Plus, it's great for your posture. When your arms are here, your hands are here, and your neck isn't doing that craning, like bent thing, it just really takes away all of those posture issues you get. No, here's the thing. Bad posture is not just uncomfortable, guys. It can can actually lead to some real serious problems like tension headaches, sore shoulders, crocheter's elbow, which I've got. But the Volare pillow, it stops all of that by supporting you where you need it most. Now, I've heard too many stories where these issues actually take people out of crocheting, and it's so sad. Don't let this happen to you. Now let's talk inclusivity. This strap right here, if this is not providing you enough room, you can get the extender strap. And with the extender strap, you just plug this in here, plug this in here, and then you have even more room. Now, if this is still not enough room, you can actually attach extender strap to extender strap, doing whatever you need to make this comfortable for you. And then you can still have the ability to put it around your waist, and it is always ready to go when you are. So if you're tired of the aches and pains that just keep taking you out of crochet or taking you away from the thing that you love, then please get yourself a Volare pillow. If you just want to prevent these things from ever happening altogether, get a Volare pillow. Do yourself a favor. Your neck, your shoulders, and your whole body will be so glad that you did. Check out my affiliate link below. There's also a discount code that you can use to make this even cheaper. When you get your pillow, please come back and let me know what you think of it. I'm seriously obsessed. I think that you're gonna love it, and I would love to hear how the Volare pillow has changed your whole crochet experience. Thank you so much, Volare, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the tutorial. Counting stitches along the single crochet cross stitch panel. So the corner has 3 single crochet stitches in it. Please only count the first stitch of that corner and then begin your counting. Use those stitch markers if you're finding them helpful. Here is my stitch count for both sides that I will be joining together. If you have a different stitch count, please use the stitch count that you have. For the wavy stitch panel, again, the corner has a chain 1. So find the first single crochet stitch of that side and begin your count. Last panel has 3 single crochet stitches in that corner. Find the first stitch made for that corner and start your count. Now here's the stitch count that I got for the bottom of the single crochet cross stitch panel and the top of the wavy stitch panel. If you have a different stitch count, then please go off of the count that you counted. And here's the stitch count that I got for the bottom of the wavy stitch panel and the top of the textured stitch panel. Again, if you got a different number of stitches, please, please, please use the number that you counted. Now let's find out how many stitches that you're going to need to decrease along each join. Between the arrow panel and the single crochet cross stitch panel, I'm going to need to decrease 9 stitches along the single crochet cross stitch panel to make it an even number. Between the single crochet cross stitch panel and the wavy stitch panel, I'm going to need to decrease 11 stitches along the top single crochet cross stitch panel to make it an even number. And then lastly, I'm going to need to decrease 6 stitches along the wavy stitch panel side to make it even. Now that I know how many stitches that I will need to decrease on which panel side, I will remove all of the stitch markers I used to count my stitches, and I'm going to reuse these stitch markers to evenly place indicators where I'm going to make my decreases. By evenly spreading out your decreases, the work can lay smoothly. Grouping your decreases will result in bunching or even warping of your project. I'm going to start joining my bottom 2 panels first using the same yarn color that I used to make the border around each panel. In my case, that's the deep sea blue color, and we're going to use the same crochet hook that we used to create the panels. Begin by slip stitching into the turning stitch of the bottommost panel just to attach the yarn to the project. Chain 1. Next, insert your crochet hook underneath both loops of the next stitch from front to back. Find the first stitch, not the turning stitch, on the other panel. Insert your crochet hook underneath the back to the front of both loops. Yarn over, pull that yarn all the way through. With 2 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. Voila, the crab stitch or the reverse single crochet stitch, and just repeat that. Once you get to that first decrease indicator, if the indicator is located on the top panel, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna insert your crochet hook underneath both loops front to back of the first panel stitch, then insert your crochet hook underneath both loops back to front of the next stitch of the top panel. Yarn over and only pull that yarn through the stitch of the top panel. Insert your crochet hook under both loops back to front of the next stitch on the top panel. Yarn over, pull through just that stitch. Now you're gonna have 2 loops that you're gonna pull through the stitch of panel 1. This will leave you with 3 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on that crochet hook to complete this decrease stitch. Now let's rewind that and show that again. Now to end the join, we're gonna make our last crab stitch in the last stitches along the sides of our panels. Make sure that you do not make any stitches in the turning stitches of the panels. Next join, slip stitch into the corner middle stitch of the bottom panel to attach the yarn to the project. Make your crab stitch in the first stitch along both panels. Everything we do here will be the exact same thing that we did when we were joining the first 2 panels together. But notice the decrease indicators are again located on the top panel, which means when we reach those indicators, just make the decrease crab stitch exactly the same way that we did when we were joining panel 1 and panel 2 together. I'm going to show how to join panel 3 and panel 4 together because the decrease indicators are located on the bottom panel here, and the decrease stitch will be worked differently than what we've done previously. Remember, the point of a decrease stitch is to make 2 stitches into 1, as if we were deleting a stitch. Again, start working the join as normal, nothing's different here. Let's get to that first decrease indicator. Great. When making your decrease crab stitch on the bottom panel, you're going to insert your crochet hook in the next stitch on panel 1 under both loops from front to back, like usual. Insert your crochet hook into the next stitch of panel 2 from back to front, like usual. Yarn over, pull the yarn through both stitches, and then yarn over and close the stitch again, like normal. Now here's where things are going to get different. Insert your crochet hook into the next stitch, but what we're going to do differently here is insert your crochet hook back into that stitch that we just put a stitch into on panel 2. Yarn over, pull the yarn all the way through, then yarn over and close the stitch. Now the 2 stitches on the bottom panel, panel 1, are only going into 1 stitch of panel 2, and that is going to be our decrease right there. Now let's show that again. Wrapping up our last join, working this crab stitch in the last stitches of both panels. Look how clean that is. Loving this crab stitch join. I hope you are too. Last thing we need to do is weave in all of our ends before jumping into the blanket border. What do you think of the crab stitch join for the panels? I know we did have to do some fiddling with doing like a crab stitch decrease or decrease crab stitch in both directions, whether we are decreasing on the top or decreasing on the bottom. Just making sure that we were able to align all of these diverse patterns, crochet stitches and crochet patterns together. Sometimes you just gotta fiddle with it and make it work so that way you can come up with something truly beautiful. Thank you so much for just crocheting with me and Bonnie. I'm having the best time. I really hope that you are too. Please do all the things, like this video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my upcoming videos. I have some amazing content coming this year. 2025 is going to be so awesome and I don't want you to miss anything. I want you to be right there with me. Take care, have a beautiful day, and I will see you with the next video. Bye guys.